American baker in Germany. I'm Michelle, and this is
Natalie.
Yeah. And how old are you? 2. Yeah. And how old are you gonna be next week? 3? Yeah. We are making Natalie's birthday cake. And what kind of cake are we making? Natalie, what kind of cake do you want for your birthday? Minnie Mouse again? You had one last year, didn't you? Should we show everybody what it looked like last year? Yeah. Was it pretty? Yeah? So I don't think we can top last year. So this year we're using some store-bought plastic figures. Yeah? And we're going to make it Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Mickey Mouse Clubhouse? Yeah! Are you excited? Yeah? Let's get started. Yeah. Let's get started. Good girl.
First, I stack the cake. This is peanut butter cake and brown sugar Swiss meringue buttercream. I crumb coat the cake and clean up the cake board with a damp rag. Then I chill the cake for a few minutes while I stack the top tier. I really wanted to make a tiered cake, but I didn't want it to be huge. So this is a 6-inch cake with a 4-inch cake on top. I frosted the bottom tier again, but this tier gave me some trouble, so I eventually ended up frosting it again. But while the bottom tier chilled for a second time, I frosted the top tier again. And mixed some white fondant with a bit of red to make some pink to cover the top tier. I rolled it out and draped it over the top tier. I trimmed off the excess with a knife. Then I frosted the bottom tier again and cleaned up the cake board. I mixed some white and blue fondant together to make a light blue. I rolled it out and covered the cake with it. I smoothed it on with my hands and cut off the excess with a knife. I measured and cut a few lengths of skewer and placed them inside the bottom tier to add some support. The top tier is also resting on a piece of cardboard covered in tin foil so the cake doesn't collapse. Then I rolled out some pink fondant and cut out a half circle out of it and placed it on the bottom tier. Then I used a small Mickey Mouse cutter to compare the size and used it to cut out a crescent of fondant out of the top. I rolled out some black fondant and cut out a Mickey Mouse shape. Then I placed it on top of the half circle of pink. I cut a few lengths of black fondant and placed them around the clubhouse. I'm trying to make a girly version of Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Then I rolled out some purple fondant and cut out a slide shape and pressed it onto the side of the clubhouse. I rolled out some white fondant. I used a circle cutter to cut out a couple of circles, and one I used to make the tiny ovals to be the windows of the clubhouse. The other I cut into a glove shape to be the glove balloon. Then I used the purple to cut out a shoe shape to make the entrance to the clubhouse. And of course, I used a fondant press mold to make some small bows and placed one at the very top. Next, I used a fondant press mold to make the letters to spell Natalie's name with white fondant. And I placed them on top of the cake. If you like what you see, hit that like button. And while you're down there, hit subscribe for a new cake video every week. Then I cut out a number 3 from my Disney alphabet cutters and placed it in the middle. Of course, the right way around. Then I used the back of a piping tip to cut out a whole bunch of white circles. I used a fondant tool to mark the top tier at regular intervals. This is where the polka dots will go. Then I placed the white circles onto the top tier. Then I rolled out a strip of pink fondant. And cut out a long, even strip. I put the seam in front because I'm planning on hiding it with a bow. Speaking of which, I make a fondant bow to place front and center. I pinch the center together and fold in the ends, but these were too big, so I cut them down a bit before folding them in and pinching the center. Then I cover the middle with a piece of fondant and fluff up the loops a bit and place it on the cake. I am loving this cake so far, but the blue tier is very empty on the back. So I cut out a bunch of Mickey Mouse shapes out of white fondant and placed them all over the back of the cake. I press out pink fondant bows and place them on top of the white Mickey Mouse shapes. As a final step, I use some alcohol to remove a bit of the black discoloration on the blue fondant and paint the windows and glove balloon with black food coloring. I am in love with this cake. It's a girly Minnie Mouse fan's dream. The Minnie Mouse Clubhouse turned out adorable, and there's polka dots and bows everywhere you look. My daughter loved it. She was so excited. Happy birthday, Natalie. For more cakes and tutorials, visit our website at AmericanBakerInGermany.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. The cake was even cuter with the figures all over it.